There's a particular kind of silence that only exists in libraries after hours. Not the silence of emptiness, but the silence of things held. Of words pressed between pages, waiting. Of stories breathing quietly in the dark. Noah Calloway knew the silence better than most people knew their own names. He was 22. A graduate student in literature, and he had a habit officially unauthorized, quietly tolerated by the night security guard who liked him, of staying in the Harrington University library past closing time. It wasn't that he had nowhere else to go. He had a perfectly decent apartment 12 minutes away. He had a roommate named Benji who cooked terrible pasta and watched sports documentaries at full volume. It was just that the library at midnight felt like the only place in the world where Noah could think without interruption. He had a corner. 3rd floor, east wing. Behind the periodicals section, a worn armchair next to a window that overlooked the campus courtyard below. He'd been sitting in that chair for 2 years. The librarians had stopped asking him to leave. Approximately 18 months ago, he was sitting there on a Tuesday evening in October, amber lamp on. Rain tapping the windows. A copy of Giovanni's Room open in his lap. When he heard the voice, it came from the other side of the tall shelving unit behind him. Someone had come in through the emergency stairwell door, the one that security occasionally left propped open for ventilation, and settled somewhere in the adjacent aisle. Noah didn't think much of it. Students did this. He was doing it himself. He turned his page. Then the voice began speaking. Not to him. Not to anyone, as far as Noah could tell. Just speaking. Low and quiet, as if thinking out loud, or practicing something, or unraveling. I don't know how to do this, the voice said. Noah went still. It was a good voice. A little rough at the edges, like it hadn't been used much that day. Young, probably around his age. There was something in it that wasn't performance. Just honesty moving through the air, searching for somewhere to land. I keep trying to figure out the right moment, and there isn't one, the voice continued. There's never a right moment. Every time I think, okay, today, I'll just say it today. He does something, and I completely a frustrated exhale. He laughs a certain way, and I lose every word I have. Is that ridiculous? That's ridiculous. Noah pressed his lips together. Very quietly, he closed his book. His brain noted. He said I've known him for 2 years, the voice said. 2 years of sitting next to him in seminars and studying with him and eating terrible dining hall food at 11. P.M. because he always forgets to eat dinner like a normal person. And I still can't just say a pause. Long enough that Noah held his breath. I still can't just say, I love you. I have loved you for so long that I don't remember what it felt like before I did. The rain on the window, the amber lamp. Noah sat completely motionless in his armchair. Heart doing something strange and loud. And the worst part, the voice continued. Quieter now, almost gentle, is that he has no idea. None. He thinks we're just friends. Close friends. And maybe that's all we are supposed to be. Maybe that's the version of this where nobody gets hurt. It's a short, soft laugh, self-deprecating, a little sad. Dat. Except I'm already hurt. So that ship has sailed. Silence. Noah realized his hand was pressed flat against the open page of his book, as if trying to hold himself down. Who are you? He thought at the shelving unit. Who are you, and who is the person you love like that? The emergency door creaked. Footsteps. Retreating. And then silence again. The real kind. The library at midnight kind. Noah sat in his armchair for a very long time afterward. Staring at the rain on the window, he didn't read another word that night. The next morning, Noah arrived at his contemporary literature seminar in a particular state of mental distraction that his professor, a sharp-eyed woman named Dr. Harlow, clocked within approximately 4 minutes. Mr. Calloway, your thoughts on the unreliable narrator in the text? He's not unreliable, Noah said automatically, looking up from his notebook. He's just afraid to say what's true. There's a difference. Unreliable implies deception. He's not deceiving anyone. He's protecting himself. Dr. Harlow considered this. Interesting. Noah looked back at his notebook. He'd written, without quite realizing it, in the margin, I love you. I have loved you for so long that I don't remember what it felt like before. I did. He closed the notebook quickly. The seminar had 7 students. Noah knew all of them reasonably well after 2 years of shared intellectual suffering. The particular bond that forms between people who have survived the same reading list together. There was Priya, who argued brilliantly and personally took every critical disagreement as an attack. There was Liam, who never spoke in class but wrote stunning papers. There was Jordan, who was doing a double major in literature and environmental science and always looked mildly overwhelmed. And there was Ren Ashford. Ren sat 2 seats to Noah's left and had done so for 2 years. Noah had long since stopped trying to be objective about this. It's beautiful in the specific way that some people are beautiful without apparently trying or knowing it. Dark auburn hair that was always slightly disheveled. Eyes the color of old amber, the kind that shifted between brown and gold, depending on the light. A quiet, focused intensity when he was thinking. And a completely unguarded brightness when he laughed. He laughed the way Noah's margin note had described. Noah was extremely, carefully, precisely not thinking about that. Ren was his friend. His close friend? His sit next to me in every seminar and forget to eat dinner like a normal person. Friend, that was the version of this where nobody got hurt, Noah repeated this to himself with great conviction. He was absolutely not thinking about last night. He was absolutely not trying to identify from memory whether Ren's voice matched the voice he had heard in the library. He was absolutely Noah. Ren leaned over and tapped his arm. Dr. Harlow is talking to you. Sorry. He looked up. Dr. Harlow was indeed talking to him. He answered her question on autopilot. Ren shot him a sideways glance, a slightly worried, slightly amused look that was so specifically Ren that Noah's chest did something that he declined to name. He was fine. He was completely fine. It was not even remotely surprising when, at 10:53 p.m. that same evening, Noah's phone lit up. Ren, did you eat dinner, Noah? Yes, Ren. Liar, Noah? Dining hall is open until 11:30. I'm going. Noah closed his laptop, put on his jacket, and went. This was, he reflected, the truest possible illustration of his life. The dining hall at this hour was near empty. A few tired grad students. A couple of undergrads who'd clearly lost track of time. The overhead lights were dimmed to their late-night setting, which gave everything a slightly warmer, quieter feel. Ren was already at their usual table, the one by the window overlooking the library building. When Noah arrived with a bowl of soup and crackers, Ren had pasta, which he was eating with the focused dedication of someone who'd been awake since 7 a.m. You had a weird day, Ren said. Not looking up, I'm fine. You had a weird day, Ren repeated. Not accusatory, just stating a thing he knew. That was the thing about Ren. He paid attention. Not in a loud, demonstrative way, not the way some people paid attention, which was really just waiting for their turn to speak. He paid attention the way you tended something. Quietly. Consistently. Noah looked at his soup. Do you ever, Noah, began carefully, overhear something you weren't supposed to, and then not know what to do with it? Ren set down his fork. Depends on what you heard. Something personal. About someone else? Noah stirred his soup. Something that maybe changes how you see a situation you were already in. A pause. Does the person know you heard? Ren asked. No. Does it hurt anyone what you heard? No, Noah considered. It's the opposite of that, actually. Ren was quiet for a moment. Then maybe, he said slowly, the question isn't what to do with it. Maybe it's about whether you can keep acting like you don't know. Noah looked upwren was looking at his pasta again, twirling the fork with a mild, focused expression. Some things are hard to unhear, Ren said. Noah agreed. They are. The windows showed the library building across the courtyard. Its upper windows were dark. Noah looked at them for a long moment. Then he looked at Ren. Is it you? He thought. Was that your voice? He said nothing. He ate his soup. The next 3 days were dedicated to one specific and quietly consuming pursuit. Figuring out if the voice belonged to Ren Ashford, Noah went about this with the methodical care of someone who had spent too long studying literature and not enough time in the actual world. He cataloged things. The voice had been low and slightly rough, self-deprecating in its humor, articulate, with careful word choices. But not formal, the kind of articulate that comes from reading rather than performance, capable of saying, "I love you," in a way that sounded like a whole private universe. The last point was not helpful for comparison purposes. He deleted it from his mental list and then immediately remembered it again. He observed Ren with the particular anxiety of someone trying very hard not to be obvious about observing someone. Ren was, as always, impossible to read directly. He was warm and attentive with Noah specifically, but Ren was warm with most people. He was thoughtful, but Ren was thoughtful about most things. He was on Thursday afternoon in The Graduate. Noah heard Ren talking on the phone. He was around the corner. Out of sight, not intending to eavesdrop, he was just reaching for the coffee machine. "I don't know what to do," Cass Ren was saying, voice low. "I'm going in circles. I've been going in circles for months." A pause while the other person spoke. "I know," Ren said. "I know I should just say something. But what if he stopped?" Then quietly, "What if he doesn't feel the same and I lose the whole friendship? Because that would be, I can't lose that. He's the most important person in my life." Noah stood frozen next to the coffee machine. His heart was doing that loud thing again. His brain noted again, with significantly more urgency than the first time. He said he again. "Yeah," Ren said into the phone. "Yeah, I know. I'm ridiculous." Short, soft laugh. That was the laugh from the library. Noah picked up his coffee with extremely steady hands, walked back around the corner, sat down at the nearest table, and stared at the wall for a full minute. Ren, it had been Ren in the library. "I love you. I have loved you for so long that I don't remember what it felt like before I did," said by Ren, about someone. Someone he studied with. Someone who forgot to eat dinner. Someone who laughed a certain way and made him lose every word. Noah pressed his hands. Flat on the table. "He's talking about me," he thought, and then with the unstoppable clarity of something that has been true for a long time before it was acknowledged, "I'm talking about him too." Here is what Noah. Calloway had been very careful not to examine too closely for approximately 18 months. He looked forward to seminars specifically because Ren would be there. He ate dinner at 11 p.m. in a nearly empty dining hall because Ren texted him too. And the honest answer to, "Why do you go?" was not because I'm hungry. When Ren laughed, that bright, entirely unguarded laugh, Noah felt something in his chest that could only be described as relief. As if something that had been held tight finally let go for a moment. He had read Giovanni's Room 4 times in 2 years, and every single time he had thought about Ren at the passages about the terror of wanting something you are afraid to have, he had a very specific memory. 8 months old. Sharp as a new glass of a late October afternoon when he and Dad Ren had fallen asleep studying in the library, the daytime library. This time, legitimately open, and Noah had woken up to find Ren asleep in the chair beside him. One hand relaxed open on the table between them. And Noah had looked at that open hand for a very long minute and thought, I'm in serious trouble. And then he had gone back to sleep and never thought about it again. Except he thought about it approximately twice a week. He was, to use the technical term, completely gone on Ren Ashford. He had been for a long time. He had simply been, as he'd told Dr. Harlow about the narrator in the text, protecting himself. The problem with knowing is that you can't. Noah walked to his evening lecture in a state of profound internal disruption. He sat through 70 minutes of postmodern narrative theory and wrote exactly 0 notes, which was unprecedented. He walked home in the rain without opening his umbrella, his roommate. Benji took one look at him and turned off the sports documentary. "Okay," Benji said. "Sit." "I'm fine. You walked in soaking wet and didn't notice." "Sit." Noah sat. Benji handed him a towel and waited with the particular patience of someone who had known Noah for 3 years and understood that rushing him produced nothing useful. "Ren," Noah said eventually. Benji closed his eyes briefly. "Finally, what?" "Noah, I have been watching you be in love with Ren for a year and a half. I wasn't you, rearranged your entire seminar schedule in second year to be in his section. That section had better discussion dynamics. You memorized his coffee order. Just you have his reading list saved in your phone." Noah opened his mouth, then closed it.
Okay.
He said, "Fine, yes. What happened?" Noah told him about the library, told him about the dining hall conversation, told him what he'd overheard on the phone, careful not to reconstruct it to exactly just the shape of it, the meaning of it. Benji listened. When Noah finished, Benji said, "So you both love each other and neither of you has said anything. I don't know for certain. That he, Noah, I think it might be me, was Noah. There's still a chance." "That Noah?" Silence. "It's me he's talking about," Noah said quietly. "I know it is." "Yeah," Benji said. "You do." He picked up the remote. "So what are you going to do?" Noah looked at the ceiling. "I don't know," he said honestly. Benji turned the documentary back on. "Figure it out soon," he said. "Watching you to be tragic is exhausting." Friday, Noah went to the library at 10 p.m., not for any particular reason. He just went. His armchair, his lamp, his window. He brought Giovanni's room because at this point, it felt like the most honest book he owned. He read 2 chapters. Then, at 10:47, the emergency stairwell door opened. Noah went completely still. Footsteps. Familiar ones. He'd somehow managed to memorize the cadence without realizing it. Soft, slightly uneven. The walk of someone who read while moving. The footsteps stopped on the other side of the shelving unit. The sound of a bag being set down. A chair pulling out silence. Then, quietly, "I almost said something today." Noah stopped breathing. The dining hall last night. He said something about overhearing things and not knowing what to do with them, and I almost a pause. I almost thought he knew, which is ridiculous. He doesn't know. Noah looked at the shelving unit. His heart was doing it again, that loud, complicated thing. "The thing is," the voice continued, I think I've been waiting. For some sign, for something that says it's okay to say it out loud. And I don't know if I'm ever going to get that. Because maybe the sign doesn't come. Maybe you just have to be brave and say the thing and let it be whatever it is." Silence. Then, softer. "I'm not very brave." Noah put down his book. He stood up. He walked around the shelving unit. Ren was sitting at a small reading desk, closed book in front of him. Looking at the middle distance, he looked up. His expression moved through several things in quick succession. Surprise, confusion, a flash of something that might have been alarm, and then settled into a stillness that was almost more alarming than the rest. They looked at each other. "Noah," Ren said. "Careful, quiet, high," said Noah. "A beat." "How long have you been here?" Ren asked. "I was here first," Noah said. "I'm always here." Ren looked at him. Looked at the shelving unit. Looked back at Noah. The understanding moving across his face was one of the most precise and painful things Noah had ever watched. "Tuesday," Noah said gently. "I was here Tuesday too." Ren went very still. "How much enough?" Noah said. "Enough to know." The library held them. Rain on the windows again. It had been raining all week, as if the weather had decided to be thematic about this. "Ren," Noah said. "Who are you talking about?" Ren looked at his closed book. Then at the window. Then at Noah. "You know," he said quietly. "I want you to say it." A pause. Long enough that the rain changed rhythm slightly on the glass. "You," Ren said, simply like the word had been waiting a long time to be spoken. "It's always been you." Noah crossed the small space between them and sat down in the chair across from Ren. They were close now. Closer than usual. The desk between them was small, and the lamp was warm, and outside the rain moved steadily against the windows. "You've been in love with me," Noah said. Not as a question. Yes. Ren looked at him steadily now, with the particular courage of someone who has already been exposed and has nothing left to protect. "For about a year, maybe longer. I wasn't sure when it started. I just looked up one day and he stopped. It was already true." Noah nodded slowly. "I overheard you say something," Noah said. "In the library Tuesday." You said. He paused, choosing honesty over caution. "You said you'd loved someone for so long you didn't remember what it felt like before." Ren held his gaze. "That's true," he said. "I wrote it down," Noah said. "In my seminar notes?" Without meaning to, something moved in Ren's expression. A careful, questioning thing. "Why?" he asked. Noah took a breath, because he said, "I have been very carefully not noticing how I feel about you for a year and a half. And when I heard you say that, I couldn't do that anymore." Ow. Ren was very still. "Noah, I rearranged my seminar schedule to be in your section," Noah said. "I have your coffee order memorized. I have your reading list saved in my phone." He paused. "I fell asleep in the library with you 8 months ago and woke up thinking I was in serious trouble, and then decided not to think about it. I've been deciding not to think about it ever since." Ren stared at him. "I'm thinking about it now," Noah said. The silence between them was a different kind now. Not the silence of distance. The silence of two people standing on the same side of something for the first time. "You really," Ren started. "Yes," Noah said. "I really..." Ren looked at him for a long moment, then down at the desk, then back up. "I said something on Tuesday that I've never said out loud," he said. "Not to anyone." "I'm sorry I heard it." "I'm not," Ren said quietly. I think I was saying it in the hope that the universe would do something about it. Since I clearly wasn't going to." Small, self-aware smile. "The universe sent you me sitting behind a shelving unit. The universe has a strange sense of staging. Really does." They looked at each other, the warmth of the lamp, the rain,